Hello,
Hi.
and welcome
Thanks.
to episode 165 of the Gamer Podcast, the bi-weekly video game podcast where we sip delicious bevs and discuss video games. I am your host, Dan Nuka-Cola Rotz, and I'm joined by Chris Perfectly Preserved Pie Wrights
It's that one time that it worked.
and Allison Sugar Bombs Van Devender.
I don't know what that's from, but it sounds cute, so I'm in.
I'd like to make a. I think we should always call her Sugar Bombs.
Sugar Bombs? I feel like I feel like even though it's not sexist, it feels sexist. So I don't want
it's
to.
better than most things I've been nicknamed in my life. Please go with it.
Well, on this episode of the Game Brew Podcast, we asked the question: I can buy video game stuff, but not in video games! Exclamation point? Question mark?
Yes.
Yes. Pip says, "Yeah, let's not call her that." I concur. But first, it's time for a bev. What are we? Hey, folks. What are we drinking? She's got it.
I've got like a bunch in my fridge if you want some that I didn't drink from at the stream.
I want it all.
Okay. Or nothing at all.
Wait, now, Allison, is that just a regular Baja Blast, or is that the hard?
It's the regular. I still haven't found the hard, but it's going into my mixed drink for this.
Oh,
You
nice.
getting blasted?
I'm getting blasted.
Getting blasted.
Nice.
What are you getting? What's the mix, Allison? What are you getting blasted with? tonight?
So one of my favorite drinks is Malibu and Baja, just regular Malibu. However,
Malabaha.
However, this was on sale. And so I got it, and it's called Malibu Black.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. And what I didn't realize, like, 'cause I've tried a lot of the flavored Malibu before,
Mhm.
and this one, I thought, I guess, would be bold coconut flavor.
Okay.
But I read it wrong.
Okay.
So it's bold Caribbean rum with coconut liqueur, 70 proof.
Oh.
So
Oh.
Like it's like full on
That's like, hey,
like rum.
here's some rum for you.
it's some rum.
Yeah.
So
Not like regular Malibu.
it wasn't exactly what I meant to buy, but I thought it would be interesting for me to try it compared to one of my favorite ways to drink, normal Malibu. So that's why we're doing this today.
Okay. All right.
But somebody else should go first because it's going to take me a second to make the drink.
Oh, to make the thing. Okay. Well, Pip also says she got that for her mom for Christmas, which is
That
nice.
was what a nice gift.
Well,
What
nice.
what a nice gift. Chris, what are you drinking?
I'm working on my dad bod by drinking Dad Bod.
Perfect.
It's a beer from Duke Law, which is a Maryland brewery. They are famous for bringing us the beer called Sweet Baby Jesus.
Right. And trying to catch Inspector Gadget. But
Doobie
they're-
doobie doo.
right? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Dr. Claw. That's different.
Dr. Claw.
I'll get you, Inspector Gadget, if it's the last thing I do.
That was
No,
very
a
good.
Duke Claw is, like basically a dog's thumb.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Duke Claw.
I just go up to Sebastian and go, your thumbs. You don't have opposable thumbs.
I like to wiggle them. So yeah, anyways, Dad Bod. It's a double IPA. It's definitely a double IPA. You can really taste the devil in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely an IPA. It's pretty hoppy. Not like it's like almost too much hops. I'm getting like soft in my old hazy age. In that, like, I don't know, I've been drinking too many hazies for years now, and like anything that's like super hoppy, I'm just like, ooh,
It's a lot.
bitter. That is
Yeah.
a lot. But the pendulum swings back and forth with the hops, I think, over time, and we'll probably get back to aggressively hop stuff, and Stone IPA will be popular again. But
One of
anyways,
these days.
yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty solid double IPA. It's pretty strong. It's like 8%, I think.
Okay.
But 8.5%. Less chuggable than usual for me.
Oh, okay. Less
maybe
chuggable.
maybe a 3 on the chuggability scale for me.
Okay. So
Out of, of course,
kinda.
out of 5.
That's a kinda chuggable.
Yeah.
Again, the chuggability scale is not numbered. It's a phrase. So
it's a concept
it's a
that has no concept.
Right. It's like it's like quantum physics. It's like you can't actually
you look at it, the chuggability goes away.
Yeah. Yes. It's well.
Yeah,
no.
You can find the rules, the stipulations, the qualifiers in our Game Brew facts.
Yes, and
you get no more context.
Which is
That's
there
it.
is
Go
also
find the
which I was going to say the Game Brew Facts tome is also in a quantum state, so it both exists and does not exist. So
nice.
But speaking of quantum state, I'm drinking a hazy pale ale from Cinderland's Beer Company. It's called Squish. It's
Scream.
Scream. No, it's Squish. Squish. It's brewed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I don't know what the ABV is, but it's a hazy IPA.
Pittsburgh. I'm supposed to do that.
Look at the look at how hazy that is. It looks like orange juice.
It's hazy. Oh yeah, mine is sorry, I didn't really show that. It's hazy, I guess. I guess people are just lazy now and just don't filter their beers.
They're just like, well, it's when it became a type of beer, then they were like, oh great, we don't have to filter it anymore. We just get
but this is like a double IPA, but they were just like, fuck it.
I hope it's not just like, oh, this is old. Here's all the sediment from.
I just got the bottom of the barrel.
But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I've been on the same kind of kick as you, where it's like we went out to dinner on Friday, and I ordered an IPA. I don't remember what it was, and I drank it. I was like, "That's pretty good." And then, and then Hannah was like, "Here, try it." She drank. She was like, "It tastes just like an IPA." I was like, "Oh, it does just taste like an IPA." Oh man,
yeah.
So I'm getting to the point where it's like, well, time to drink different beers.
I mean, yeah, I'm mostly at the point where I'm just like, yep, that's an IPA, and I like IPAs, or like, that's a Kolsch. I like Kolsches. So I'm like a really bad person to say, ooh, I just think like it's either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's not really like a level. It's just it's beer,
Chris,
and I'm not spitting it out.
Can I explain to you something I've learned? You just made a very clippable moment of you just being able, and you paused to make it work.
You went, where you said, a bad
I'm
person.
just a really bad person.
Oh.
And then there was a big space after it.
That was unintentional.
I can't wait to clip it so we have more because
I'm just a really bad person.
Anyway, sorry, that was gold. Continue. Yeah. I apologize.
I'm so sorry. I need to make sure that we could
about MILFs and me saying hell yeah.
Here we go.
We all like MILFs.
Hell yeah.
Yep. There we go. Allison, we know.
I'm spicy and served hot.
There it is.
And now we have a new one to add.
Yeah.
I can't wait for, when we're this is kind of morbid, when we're at our funerals and we get to play these for all of our friends and family.
Yeah, whoever's doing my eulogy walks up to the mic, or Hannah walks up and she was like,
"Dust to dust. I'm spicy and served hot."
Hannah walks up to the microphone, having just my open sarcophagus.
You're getting, I'm like, Dan's doing it Pharaoh style, or not at all.
It's just that they open it up for the viewing, and it just goes, and then that's it. That's what we need.
That's it.
But yeah, this chuggability level of Squish is pretty high. It's pretty good. It's like I could chug this. I don't know how high the alcohol percentage is, so I'm not gonna. But it tastes yummy. It's pretty.
Yeah, just
it's like
chug it, dude.
It's like the orange juice of beers. I'm into it.
The orange juice of beers.
I think that's why I got it, because
the champagne of beer.
Well, but that's why I got Squish, because when we went out to dinner on Friday, they had like an orange crush there, like the drink Orange Crush that people make. I think it's like vodka. It's like
I'm quite aware of what it is.
That's a Baltimore thing.
It is a Baltimore thing.
But they had that there, and I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of that, because squish and it's orange. But anyway, Allison.
I do like squish. I do like squish for a hazy.
Yeah, that's a good name.
A good name for a hazy.
All right, Allison.
All right. Well, it's an ugly color. How good is this showing up? I don't know.
Not the best.
It looks like
dark Baja Blast.
Slightly darker.
Or Baja Blast
Nights. It's very like putrid. It's very like pond water looking to me.
It's like Undercity green.
There you go. Yeah. It doesn't look appetizing. Oh, there you can kind of tell at the top what's happening.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. That's where the rum is separating.
You should stir it.
Give that a little. Get a spoon.
Do it again. But yeah, so I don't like it.
Sounds about right. I mean, it's a lot higher. It's a lot higher alcohol content. I'm sure it tastes more like rum than it does like Malibu.
Not even like I don't know why. For me, it tastes more like bad vodka.
Because it's like I think it's because of the alcohol. Like I think it's like it's too balanced that direction. Probably.
Yeah, I guess so. Because like and maybe it's because of the way like white rum is made. Like a strong dark rum, I'm usually a fan of. It's something about this that just tastes like very very lighter fluidy and not pleasant.
It could just be like bad alcohol that they just like kind of tossed in there.
Yeah, because
like not like that it's like bad, but like it's just not good quality.
Well, yeah, it says that it has coconut. I don't taste anything. Oh, that was like instant gag reflex to the smell. It's like nail polish. That's what it smells like.
Or nail polish remover.
Yeah, not a fan.
Okay.
We are giving this a Allison's going to choke it down chuggability out of not many drinks I don't. So
listen, do your best. You could do it. We believe in you. We believe in you. Speaking of things we also believe in, we believe that we will win at video games. Allison, which video games have you been playing recently?
What a transition.
I just noticed that. Hold on, Allison. I'm so sorry. I just noticed that your background is like moving, and there's mushrooms, and they're like squishing.
Yeah, they're lightly bouncing. Yeah.
I love it.
It's lovely. But so there's only one game I've really been playing lately, and that is Ragnarok Origins.
Okay.
Yeah, you talked about that a couple weeks ago. I think.
Yeah, I didn't like press on it because I needed the time to discuss it. So I'm gonna go into a TLDR attempt at my last few weeks. So this is a mobile game. However, I'm playing it on the computer. You could do it like with an emulator. I don't advise that. It's really bad to do with the emulator. However, I've gotten the client that they have available.
Got it.
And I've been playing it there mostly. But yeah, I can flip to my phone as needed, especially since I had surgery recently. It was something I could really play casually in bed to pass the time and things like that. So that's been really nice. And I've kind of, we've built a guild and a community that has been really pleasant, but it's just kind of like your basic gacha game in a lot of ways. And the saltiness about that is kind of coming to surface. Whereas everybody was really enjoying it. Now our server is dying. Fewer people are playing. There's a bunch of like guild versus guild kind of vibes, and two guilds are kind of running the server and nobody can touch them because they have put in a lot of money. I think like I know there's somebody out there who maybe put in $7,000 in a month.
Whoa.
So
holy moly.
I think that's kind of max that I've seen on Reddit somebody talk about. So yeah, it's definitely
good for them, I guess.
Yeah, good for them if that's how you want to play. I'm not shading anybody. If I had the extra money, I'd do those things.
I wouldn't spend $7,000 on a game.
Yeah, I mean, hey, whatever brings you joy.
I can confidently say I've never or will never spend $7,000 on one game.
Yes, I can't say I will either. But I mean, in this game, that's how you move fast and hard. Like,
that's what she said.
That's what she said. But yeah, definitely not what I've put into the game. If you had to question that, I'm definitely like I'm not fully free to play. I've definitely put a little money in. There's some things like that are quality of life about the game that you can buy like pass for every month. So it's like a 30-day pass, and it's not expensive. Definitely I'm doing that. Occasionally I'll put in like a 99-cent on something here or $1.99 there. Just because like I want to. Like I want to support this game. It's free. That's kind of always been my opinion on those. I know we've had a podcast episode discussing that. And like there's a couple times where I'm like, hey, I'd like to just go for this gotcha thing, but not a lot of money, just like a little. So I call myself a dolphin, whereas the whales are the ones who put in a lot of money.
You're like a guppy.
Yeah, I'm like a guppy, a sardine, if you will. The whales can eat me still, but hey, I'm there.
I am but a piece of krill in the ocean, floating freely.
Yes. But yeah, so it's like it's fun. I'm enjoying it. There's parts of it I really like. I think as far as mobile MMO RPG vibes, it's really good. Ragnarok was an old IP, and this is kind of a nice fun take on it. It's cute. It's got a lot of the stuff from the old games, but it's updated. There feels like there's balance. However, I think starting next week, they're releasing a class that's really broken. So we'll see what happens then, from what I understand. And then there's also the factors of things seem to be dying because people, I mean, I hear it in our guild a lot. People are really just negative about the difference between pay to win and free to play. And I think that's the death of all gacha.
Oh, yeah, totally. Completely.
Right.
So it's tough because like you want to make sure that the people that paid money feel like they got their money's worth, but you don't want to leave the player base behind, because if your player base goes away, then the people that are whales aren't going to play because there's no reason to play.
Right. There's nobody that can be better than. So why are they there?
Capitalism.
So the like negatives that I see about this. So when I joined, I thought I was joining the NA server that had just launched, because it like existed in other countries before this. And I thought that they were releasing it to NA. It turns out this was an LNA server, so Latin North America.
Oh, okay.
So the language barrier is there, but they actually have a really good in-game translation system. So there were enough like, you know, English speakers that I wasn't too suspicious at first, but then I noticed like, man, like the Brazilian and all these other groups, like they're really running it. Like this is crazy. Everybody's speaking Portuguese. and then we figured out, oh, this is LNA. And what happened to the NA server is it actually had been around for a while, and they're shutting it down. Which is not a good sign either.
Wait, the LNA they're shutting down?
The NA server.
There's not going to be a North American server for.
Yeah, and people
that's not a good sign.
Put in a lot of money into those, and they've come here, and that's how we kind of figured it out. There were these people who joined our guild who had these like stories about how they put money into the other ones, and they're trying to get stuff transferred over, whatever they're willing to do, because they're shutting down those servers and they don't feel it's fair. So we'll see. I don't know. I would hope that they have learned from what failed there and are changing it, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
My business acumen, small as it is, makes me go, maybe don't put more money into the game, because it might just be throwing it out a window at this point.
Yeah. Well, I do wish I knew these things kind of up front. But you know, it's okay. I'm still having fun with it.
Great.
As long as I have fun with it, I'm going to play it. Right.
That's what matters.
And that is what matters.
So there's my not so TLDR. Thanks, guys. I'm so glad you came to my TED Talk.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Coming to a TED. This was a TED Talk? This is a weird TED Talk.
Who's Ted?
It's like, who's this guy? Speaking of mobile games, I'm going to talk about Monopoly Go. You've probably seen all of the ads for it, but
I have. They're very special ads.
There is also a Monopoly Go card game, which I played, and it's actually pretty good.
There is.
Anyways.
But, so I'm playing the mobile game for it right now because it's one of those things where, well, I'm doing it because I might get some like gift card points for something else, but that's, whatever. That's why you play mobile games. But I started playing it, and this is very much like it's a like wait and don't do anything and then do stuff for a while sort of stuff. Like it's like you basically wait and then it rolls dice and then you roll dice and then it goes around the board and it collects money and then you use the money to upgrade things and then you wait and then roll dice, etc., etc. And there's usually events where it's like, oh, hey, you land on this many railroad spaces and you get these things. And when you land on a railroad space, you can either smack somebody else's monuments to try and get money and then get them to go lower, or you steal money from people that they've been earning. And it's really not nice to do that to people, but you have to. It doesn't give you a choice. And I've been playing it for like 3 weeks, and it's just great. It's just really nice. It's a really fun game, especially because Hannah and I are both playing it right now. So during the day, at some point, one of us will text the other person, "I'm so sorry," because we've stolen all of their money. And it's just like
ads are true.
It's true. It really is. It's like like I just get a bolt, like in all caps, "I am so sorry," from Hannah. I know that she just stole all of the money that I had been saving. But now my brother's also playing it, so now that's another person. But we all have we have a ceasefire like agreement not to smack each other's monuments, because you can change that. But I mean, as far as mobile games go, I mean, it's like you have to do absolutely zero work. You could pay money to do it. I don't know why anyone would pay any money to play this game. It's so easy to just get dice or just wait a couple hours and then like have more dice to roll. So don't do it. But also, man, it's just satisfying to like do the thing that gets you like, oh, now I have 500 dice, and then you just keep rolling and you spend the next 20 minutes just sitting there, not even pressing any buttons because it has an auto roller. So you just turn on the auto roller, you just sit there and just go, hooray, wee, woo, pass go. It's so great. It's so great. But yeah, I've been doing that. And Final Fantasy VII. This Rebirth, man, this game is longer than I thought it was going to be.
It's long.
I
thought
first
one was like 35-ish, 40 hours.
Maybe.
Like
I don't know. It's 60, probably more 60. But like, but
I played the first one in like 40.
Maybe you were going faster than I was.
Everything.
But like this one is like I keep like I thought I was gonna be going too fast. Like whenever I got to Costa del Sol, I was like, I don't know, this is kind of going really fast. I don't know if this game's gonna be like, if I'm like gonna be done. And then it just keeps getting longer, and I'm like, boy, this is great. I love it. Nice. And I'm getting like all the nice story beats that I want, and like the things are happening in the story that are reminding me of the past, and also like an updated version of it, and it's great. Everything's awesome. I love it so much. That's it. That's the tweet.
Awesome.
I love Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Go play it.
Yeah, I need to keep. I took a break from it for a little bit, and I need to go back to it.
Is it because you've been playing a mobile game, Chris?
I have been playing.
Is it Monopoly?
Is it Monopoly?
Damn, no, it's Warhammer.
Monopoly ends lives, so
it's Warhammer themed.
Oh, speaking
Hold on. Wait,
as is most things in my life.
I didn't have the correct reaction to that. Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, say it one more time.
No, I'm good.
No. Go one more time, Chris. No. We have to do it for the one more time. Just do one more take on that.
Yeah. What?
I'm sorry.
Oh my god! Okay, thank you.
Oh, Chris, before, whenever you said I can't imagine spending $7,000 on a game, I was in my head. I went, Chris, you play Warhammer.
I don't think I spent $7,000 even on that game, and that's also different because I have the thing.
Yes, it's a physical thing. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But in my head, I was like, play Warhammer, man. But anyway, sorry,
$7,000, and it also hasn't been in 1 month or whatever it was.
That's true.
Anyway, so I've been playing this Warhammer mobile game called Warhammer Tacticus.
Tacticus.
And so it's very much for the most part not like autoplay. You kind of have to like you have different characters from different like factions in Warhammer, and you get to upgrade them with different things. And there's there's you can do like a campaign thing, and there's an arena, and then there's sometimes tournaments, and then there's like fighting big bosses, and then there's just like these other things you can do. And basically the whole thing is to upgrade your shit to get more shit. So it's like I guess it's kind of like a gacha game. Is there
a mechanic where you can get like rarer soldiers to put into your team?
Well, you get like badges, and you have to get a certain amount of badges to unlock each character.
I think that would I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I've been playing it for about a month and a half, and it's pretty good. It's been good. It's a little more to it than like just like what Monopoly Go sounds like. So I think that's why I kind of like it, in that it like isn't. I don't know. Like you have to think about it a little bit, like as far as like how you're playing.
Yeah.
But
gotcha.
It's cool. I've been enjoying it. It's fun getting to unlock like the characters that you really enjoy and like that are really cool. So that's kind of the things I've been working on.
Is it like you pick a faction? Like
no, you have like you have like only one faction available at the start, and like as time goes on, you get like new characters that get added once you get more badges to unlock them. And then so like you can kind of try some ways you can try to focus on characters that you want. Other times like they'll have events, kind of like what you were talking about, in that like they'll have an event to try and unlock a character, and you have to do a certain amount of things to get to be able to do it. And usually it's possible to do it without paying money, so that's cool.
Very neat.
Yeah. And then kind of going on with the Warhammer theme, so I played in a tournament.
Nice.
Past weekend. Went 2-1. I was like, I think 15th out of 43. It was okay.
That's good. That's more than half. So
it was way better than the last time, which is great. And I was playing the same army that I played on that tournament, and so like I finally feel pretty good about this army. Right, I played it also in like a league. It's the Adeptus Custodes. It's the guys that guard the Emperor of Mankind on the Golden Throne of Terra, and so like they're super elite. Like I bring 30 dudes to the table, whereas like a lot of other people are bringing like 100.
Wow.
Yeah, so like they're really tough, and they hit really hard, and like basically every model is like a character unto himself.
Oh, so it's not like here's a bunch of here's a bunch of Space Marines. Instead, it's like here's like Johannes Grimsbane.
Yeah, so it's like these guys that are basically like Golden Warrior. It's what Henry Cavill plays.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so I've been playing them for like the past year, basically. And so they're getting a new set of rules coming out in like next week, basically. And there have been reveals on this new book for the rules for them, and they look like hot garbage, to the point that there's this OnlyFans woman who tweeted that you may have noticed I've been tweeting a lot of pictures with my clothes on recently. That was because I wanted Warhammer to send me free stuff, but the new Custodes Codex looks so bad that I'm never wearing clothes again. Here's some ass for my fellow Custodes enjoyers. And this is a straight up real tweet from a straight up. She I'm sure she makes a lot of money on OnlyFans.
Okay.
Her name is Mia Malkova. You can look it up.
I've heard of her.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is. Also, you could make no money by signing up for OnlyDance. But again, a reminder: you can't sign up if you're not named Dan. It's OnlyDance.
Can you sign up for OnlyDance if you're also signed up for OnlyFlans, or are they separate?
Those are two subscriptions. Those are two separate ones, because everyone could sign up. Everyone could sign up for OnlyFlans, because you just gotta like flan. only Dan's is just only for Dan's. Yes.
But yeah, no, it's kind of a bummer like that.
That it's getting nerfed so hard.
It's just getting nerfed super. It's like literally one of like the main like reviewers of the books and stuff, and like kind of like is like the main source of news for competitive Warhammer. They're called Goonhammer.
Mhm.
They reviewed the book and were like, yeah, we haven't seen a book this bad in like 5 years.
Oh boy.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yikes.
So I'm gonna be
That's sad.
switching to one of my other armies, I guess.
How many different armies do you have? Like what different factions?
So I have 3. I have these guys, which are Space Wolves. I have the Custodes, and then I have Death Guard, which are my smelly boys.
Now, are these all like Space Marine factions?
Space Wolves are Space Marines, and then Death Guard are also Space Marines, but they're like bad Space Marines or Chaos Space Marines.
Gotcha.
But like they follow the God of Plagues, basically.
Okay.
So they're all like plaguey and gross.
Gotcha.
Is why I kind of like them, because they're slow and tough and like me. But
slow and tough like me.
Yeah, but no, it was good that I got to at least play them and the Custodes and enjoy them for a little while. I got 3rd in a league that I played in.
Nice.
Out of like 40 some people, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Do you feel like making an investment in something like that, like not necessarily financially, but your time, your effort, all of that, and then feeling like they're getting slashed the way they are? Does that feel really ick for you, or is it just part of it and you're cool?
So like, I think it's part of it, and I'm cool. Like I'm in a place where I'm fortunate that it's not my only army. I got them for a really good deal when I bought them. So, and like I haven't spent too much on them since then, so I'm not like super bummed about it. But I'm a little bummed about it because I was like feeling like I was just getting into a place that I was like feeling pretty good about them, and then I'm gonna have to kind of relearn some other stuff. So it's like half and half.
Yeah. I know a lot of friends who played a lot of like competitive card games, and that would tilt them when like something that their whole deck was built around was like.
It's part of the game. It's understood. Like I mean, they'll be good again. Like
it's a time. Listen, time is a flat circle. Okay, everything comes around.
That
again.
made no sense.
Thanks, Dan. That made everything feel better.
Listen, it's just
Dan with the comforting advice.
Listen, it's just Space Marines all the way down.
No, these are like big fancy Space Marines. It's different.
Yeah, but all the way it's turtles all the way down, man. But speaking of things that we spend money on, we're gonna get into the topic that we are talking about. So, Fallout, the TV series just came out. It's great. BT dubs.
It's also very weird, but like if you've played the games, you kind of get that.
It's like it's spot on. Like all of the way that this isn't a Game View podcast, so we're not going to spend a long time talking about it. But
we're going to talk about it because I have
just a little bit, just to say that if that I went in super like this is going to be meh, and I'll probably watch it. You know, kind of like I watched the first season of the Halo show and just be like, this was not what it was, and go on from there. But instead it was amazing. And
it kicks ass. And it's like super weird, and like the people that are inhabiting the wasteland are weird as hell, just as they should be. I think it was the 6th or 7th episode, they finally played the theme from the video games.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pumped, and I was worried that they weren't like. I was like thinking about it after watching a few episodes. I was like, I don't think I've heard like the main.
I don't want to suffer. Oh like yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes.
None of that sounded correct, but you knew what I'm talking about.
Yes.
I'm just hoping they do the Ron Perlman War Never Changes at some point.
Yeah,
I'm on the 7th. I have one episode left from this season. It's been great. They've hit a lot of the things I wanted them to.
And while watching that, it's made me go back and play and like also like think about stuff where, you know, it's like, man, I wish there was Nuka-Cola. Like there's Nuka-Cola stuff in there. They have like stuff and I'm like, man, I wish there was. And that made us start thinking about, like Chris was thinking about there's like a Fallout cookbook. So we were thinking about things that are in video games that kind of like X, you know, like cookbooks X Fallout or cookbooks X Dungeons and Dragons or you know.
Lots of cookbooks. A lot of cookbooks.
There's a lot of cookbooks. I will say that for it.
So there's like a lot of products that kind of there seems to be kind of like two types of products that make sense and products that don't. In terms of like kind of like trying to get the spirit of the game versus just slapping
a name on it,
a thing on it, you know,
and just saying it's there, right?
Yeah.
So so give me an example of something that slaps
in a good way.
Yeah, slaps is a good thing. We've talked about that before. If it slaps, it's good.
So so when I think about this, I have a couple cookbooks that are video game themed. And the first one I got was the Skyrim one, which I think I've talked about on here before. Make sweet rolls. That's a great cookbook. Not only are the recipes good, but like they're well themed and like there are things that you see in the game, like the sweet rolls. So it's like really fun to make sweet rolls. I also have the World of Warcraft one, which also is very good. It's actually by the same author.
I have that one. I like that one
Chelsea
a lot.
Chelsea something dash something is her name. I can't remember her last name at the moment, but she does a really good job of adapting recipes from video games into recipes that are like look good and taste good, and like especially for games like Skyrim and WoW, where like especially WoW, where like one of the professions in game is cooking. It makes total sense. It's such a good idea. Brilliant.
Right.
There are other examples that I can think of. There's a Halo cookbook. And while there is a Master Chef meme, I don't believe he does any cooking in that game. Nor does he even eat food, nor even barely seafood, I don't think.
Would the Flood be seafood? Would you consider them seafood?
In that someone might see food and then they eat it? No, I don't think they're seafood.
I don't know. They kind of look like shrimps sometimes.
Maybe the grunts.
Yeah. The author is Chelsea Monroe Cassell.
Yes. No, she does a good job.
Yeah, she has a lot of different cookbooks under her. Specifically, she has some.
Did she do the Fallout one as well?
Wait. So I found. Maybe I'm not looking at the right ones. I see Victoria Rosenthal, the official Halo cookbook, recipes from across the galaxy. Is that not the one you're talking about?
So that's he was referencing.
I'm talking about the
Skyrim and WoW ones.
Yeah, the World of Warcraft ones.
Because the food there just looks like something I could get at TGI Fridays.
Right,
pretty much.
And like, there's also like I think there's a Galaxy's Edge one like for Star Wars, and it's like.
Interesting.
I mean, blue milk, yeah, sure.
There was some food involved in Star Wars, at least, but.
Well, I mean, I'm going to Galaxy's Edge in a few days, so I do love the food and the drinks there. So I love blue milk. Hannah thinks it's disgusting. Everybody I was with,
I do want to try blue milk.
It's pretty well. Good
news.
Do
they also have green milk?
Well, no, actually, here's something. Kind of in a food-related manner, they're gonna sell blue milk in stores. You'll be able to get like the Star Wars blue milk.
I want that.
Which is basically just like it's kind of like a smoothie. It's more like a fruit smoothie, kind of. But I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay. Let me ask: when you guys think a gaming cookbook is a good gaming cookbook, is it when it feels honest and it feels right for the series? Is it when the food is good? Or like what qualifiers in your head make a good gaming integrated cookbook?
I think at the baseline, a good cookbook has to have good food. Like any good cookbook has to have good food. A good gaming cookbook has to do that, but also like have dishes that are like fitting within the like if there are cooking things in the game, like wow, it makes sense. And like if you can do them like with good recipes, it's fun to make like conjured mana strudel or like like things like that like you've seen so much in the game that, and you can make it yourself and it's actually good. That's such a cool thing. Like you can finally experience what your character did and have a great time with it. But like to me, like the Halo cookbook is stupid because like they don't ever talk about that, or like so like you're just putting recipes and then just slapping Halo's name on it. You know what I mean?
I think it really comes down to like a good like cookbook that is like partnering with a video game. It has to be a game where food is like there, where it's like it's part of it. Just like it doesn't matter with Halo. Now there are some things where it's like, okay, there's like a Pokemon cookbook exists. It's like, yeah, it's all things that kind of look like Pokemon, which in my head I'm like, no, it should be a cookbook about how best to prepare and serve Pokemon, because that's a thing that happens.
That could be two different books, like a fiction book about a fictional book on how to prepare. Like that would actually be fun.
Yeah, but
a fictional
also
book of how to prepare Pokemon, but also a real cookbook on how to make things that are like Pokemon.
Right. So like I have the Heroes Feast, the Dungeons and Dragons
that's a pretty good book.
Cookbook, which has some really great recipes in it. But there is like one where it's like, oh, it's like halfling it's like halfling chili, where it's like you're supposed to use the meat of halflings, but if you don't, you can use ground beef or ground turkey.
Yeah.
In the sorry.
Allison, go ahead.
You're good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, so in the Halo cookbook, they're trying to write it as a cookbook from the perspective of a mess hall on a ship.
Ugh.
No one wants that.
No one wants that.
Yeah, it's just interesting that I was like, how do they
cookbook?
how do they integrate this? And they're like, the slop that you get fed, I make sure that doesn't happen. Who am I to tell you about this? My name's Arturo Bustamante. And it's like wait, no, the author's name was Victoria. Like, we're going real, like, headcanon here for this. And I'm not sure. That's very weird. I don't want that in a cookbook.
Yeah.
Anyway, that would not be a good cookbook to me, just in general. If anybody wrote a cookbook and said, this is a story about somebody else making this food, here's their name. It's a fantasy telling of a cookbook. It's a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's like a stretch. It's purely like grandma wants you to buy, like grandma knows that you like Halo, so she got this for you for Christmas.
Yeah, and I was gonna point that out. Yeah,
and like I think that's kind of like going back to kind of the main topic, like the sign of a good, well integrated product, like a thing that like you would want, would be something that makes sense in that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Allison, I think you were talking about like some of like the palettes you've seen from Mac, from MAC. Is it Mac or MAC?
No, actually not Mac. That was going to be for another topic, another time.
Okay.
However, I have lots of makeup I can talk about.
Okay.
So
hold on, before we do that, I just have to I have to say this one thing. Banhammer. Okay. Anyway, just had to make sure I dropped the banhammer real quick.
Stuck at Focal Homestead.
All right, Allison, you may continue.
Okay, so a big trend I've noticed in makeup is, well, I mean, it's been something that's been going on forever, and like since the 90s. Makeup companies will collab with a popular IP, but it's always been like TV shows, movies, like these like really iconic pop culture moments, but never really video games until more recently.
Mm-hmm.
And they've really grabbed onto anime and video games now. which I think is very cool for me, especially me being somebody who likes to purchase things that are video game IPs, collabing with things. It is a thing I do a lot. So,
if only they had a name for what somebody who likes to purchase things. What would they call that?
They
you consume. They just consume.
Like they're hungry and they just want more and they just eat it.
Anyway.
Look, we know that the Allison Dictionary doesn't include all the words in the English dictionary. Okay. This is something that like I was really excited about, and I worked at Hot Topic once upon a lifetime ago, and they did a lot of collabs there with makeup. Yes. I think that's a football sign for stop.
No. I'm doing hot H.
Hot Topic. Oh, I thought that was timeout field goal.
I thought it was
timeout field goal.
I didn't know what was happening.
Yards,
I was like, I did something.
Giving them the business. First down.
So yes, I did work there, and that was one of the big things they did was like collab with makeup. Like I have an Invader Zim palette I got when I worked there, and lots of different like collabs like that just were fun for me. What I found very quickly though is some of them were good quality and some of them were horrible quality.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask was like, do you have some like that you felt like were pretty good and like were actually like
absolutely
distinct shades or colors or anything like that?
Yes.
That like only could be found on that palette and they were actually good and long lasting colors or?
Yeah, so for the Invader Zim palette, it was pretty good. And it had like a lot of bright like greens that I couldn't get other palettes very easily. But in general, a lot of the time, like I would find that if I flipped it over, underneath would be the makeup company that made it. And it was like very secretive, but you could find it. And it was always like the same companies that were making the good ones. And now Hot Topic has actually flipped to only use that company, which is very smart for them because I was starting to never buy them until I figured out the rhyme and reason of it. But now there's like tons of makeup companies doing this, right? So there's so many options out there. And I, as a consumer, the word I learned today, I'm very scared to buy most of these because I don't know anything about the makeup and I don't want to waste my money anymore.
Right.
However, I wanted to talk about some of them. What I can tell you is ColourPop does a lot of collabs. Amazing makeup for anybody out there looking for something that collabs and is great.
So I was just asking Katie because I remembered getting some of these for Christmas. I think she got like a Sailor Moon and Avatar eyeshadows.
Oh, I would love a Sailor Moon eyeshadow.
That's are so ColourPop. Cool. Yes, because I asked her about them.
I think they were at MagFest. They were pretty solid, I believe.
Yeah, their pigments are really
She just said, so I'm messaging her. She said, yes, they were ColourPop.
Yeah, so ColourPop, and I haven't bought a lot from ColourPop, but what I can say is their pigments are really good. So they're like blushes and their eyeshadows are stellar. Their lip, I think, is hit or miss, but the other two are really, really good. There's this company that I'm interested in who's doing a lot of video game collabs. So they're called Vampire Cosmetics with a Y. They did an Oregon Trail one first. With a vampire but a Y kind of instead of an I. Yeah. Got it. And they did an Oregon Trail one first, and I almost bought it. But like I said, I'm very Oregon. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Like the zombie game.
Am I saying it weird?
Or the Oregon?
No.
Or Oregon.
Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon.
Oregon.
I could be saying it weird too.
Well, no, there's a game called Oregon Trail.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, it's a zombie. It's Oregon Trail, but with zombies.
Now I've learned something else. But it had it had like 12 colors in it. You flip it, and it was like very
like different shades of green and tan.
Basically, yeah, like really the palette of the game. It was literally just the palette of the game, and like two different like versions of the game. Like one of them was more like the first game's more like muted tones, and then the other one brought in the greens and the like browns of the main screen itself. So yeah, it was very cool, but I didn't actually end up purchasing it. And they came out with a lip too, very nude lip. But Then they started popping off on things that have tempted me wildly. And that is the Silent Hill palette.
I'm looking at that right now. I was just about to say,
Can you
Allison.
get like a palette that's colored like Pyramid Head skin?
I mean, no, but
you could just put that all over you, you know?
It's true. And then I could like just be him. But they have like brushes that have like the Konami like stamp on it. Like it's that serious.
Cute.
The copyright Konami. And then they have a Pyramid Head brush and it has just a little pyramid head on top. Like very legit, very cool looking. And they've almost made me buy these a bunch of times, but they're very pricey. And I can't commit.
Allison, the metal makeup brush set is now 22% off. So
yes. And I think it's like still 40, right?
It's $34.99. That's under $40. Okay, I think it's time to bite the bullet.
It might be time, guys. It might be time to commit. But then they have like a Pyramid Head palette, which is kind of his skin tone is one of the colors, yes. But it's also lots of reds and purples and blues like Bruce's. And then there's a Nurse palette that's more skin tones.
Cool.
And they did a Robbie the Rabbit palette as well. And they have now also done a third one that they're branching out into D&D. And they're now releasing D&D palettes.
So D&D related, I saw this morning. Converse is coming out with DMD collaboration shoes.
I did see that.
You also got targeted by that ad, I see.
Always.
I might buy them.
I saw those and I wanted them too. We've all been targeted.
I might be buying them.
I was thinking about it.
So and so maybe that's like the common theme of things that are good are that like they're high quality products. Like it's nice that we're starting to see high quality products that are video game themed that aren't just like junk, you know?
Right.
I do want to say I'm on the Phoenix Rising Cosmetics and Vampire Cosmetics website right now, and they do have a Bill and Ted's Party on Dudes guitar palette. And I never wish I wore makeup more than I do right now.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like this company, when I first saw them, they scared me. I thought they were a scam company. And now
so there probably are companies that are scams.
Yeah, and that's what I see. Yeah. Like you see a bunch of these scam companies with products.
Especially if they advertise on Facebook.
Right. And that's where I saw them first, was on Facebook. And their ads even had typos, like basic typos. And so I was like, nah, fuck like this.
Vampire.
Well, not that one. But just like really simple typos. And like it was just Silent Hill. And I was like, I really want this, but I'm not putting a pre-order in for something that I think is a scam. And now that they're doing Dungeons and Dragons too, I'm just like, maybe it's not a scam. They must be doing something right. So I don't know. I might buy it. But there's lots of other companies. I'm just going to run through a couple other options so you guys have things if you want to go look that are listening. HipDot did a Monopoly palette quite some time ago. You can't get it now, but it's just another example.
Good. Monopoly's awful.
I don't know about that, Chris. I love Monopoly.
The main game of Monopoly is bad. And it was literally made to show how capitalism is bad. That's why it was made.
I mean, you're right, but it's fun to play shitty things.
It's still fun. We're gonna do our next, like, after we do all these weddings we have to go to. Hannah and I are gonna throw a party that's like a Monopoly. Like we're gonna do like big Monopoly, but instead it's gonna be like if you win, you get a prize. But like we
should do it where like we go from Allison and Fee's house to my house.
Oh, like we actually have to drive around.
and then to yours.
That's then we'll go to Ian on the other side of the country again. And then we'll go.
It's like a really oddly shaped square.
Yes, but yeah, there you go.
But
yeah, so they released a Monopoly one, and that was years ago. You can buy it on eBay, rare. There's like 5 years ago, HipDot, Wet n Wild. Sorry, Wet n Wild came out with a Pac-Man one. So it really started with more classics, and now it's branching out into popular ones. And Critical Role also had a collaboration makeup palette, which I didn't even realize.
That's kind of weird.
No, I don't think so. It's on brand for them, in my opinion. Okay. I listen to a lot of
lots
Critical
of
Role.
like metallic-ies and browns and like, so that one was also HipDot. So I guess HipDot's big on that. ColourPop's big, not necessarily gaming, but they do a lot of cool collabs, and I trust them. Wet n Wild,
Katie was saying she really likes ColourPop.
Yes, I do too. And Wet n Wild is a decent, affordable brand. They are not like super high quality, but I think for the bang for your buck, they're actually a good quality. The others I can't speak to. And there's even a company that I found when I was doing research for this called Game Beauty. Literally nothing but their palettes are centered, their eyelashes are centered around the idea of gaming, which I thought was really interesting. Like they have done some collabs. They did Attack on Titan. Weird. That's not exactly it, but Persona 5. Persona 5 did one with them.
Okay.
And the rest of their stuff are just like collections based on elements in video games, or an adventure palette, a victory palette, Harbinger palette, cyberpunk palette, just themes that you see in games. So I thought that was interesting too.
Interesting.
So that was my TED Talk on, I'm doing TED Talks today on makeup.
Well, no,
Thanks for coming.
I think it's like, and I like one of the topics we were also going to talk about was like toys. Like I have like this awesome Blastoise. It's actually Mega Bloks. Like I love this guy. He's great. Like I'm so glad that they like some company actually made like Pokemon Legos. And then I also have, not that I play it Overwatch anymore, but like I've got Bastion and he's great.
Yeah,
I love Bastion.
It's very cute.
Little buddy, his bird buddy. I've got Diva and Reinhardt over here too. Like I don't know, they're great. I like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like Legos started to do, like whenever Lego came out with they have their Minecraft Legos, they have the
Mario.
They have the Mario Legos. Now they have Dungeons and Dragons Legos.
Ooh, yeah, I saw that set. It's wildly expensive.
It is very expensive. So I mean, there's even big brands like that. I mean, but toys are like one of the that it feels like an obvious connection, right?
Yeah.
Like that's
easy.
Yeah, toys are easy. There's, I think like the food stuff is always interesting, but like
when Fallout 4 came out, I think it was Jones Cola did.
They did a Nuka-Cola.
Nuka-Cola Quantum, which I got one. I still have it. Haven't opened it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm holding on to it.
No, don't open it. Leave it. It's a collector's item now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like it's definitely just like one of their other sodas, just with a different label slapped on. But like,
but that stuff gets me every time.
It wasn't as cool as I wanted it to be, honestly.
That's why it's cooler to have it than it is to drink it, because it's like I have this now. The only thing cooler would be if it was empty and like from.
It would have been cooler if they had like a
100 years ago
specialized glass that had like the rocket ship. Shape.
Yeah, that would have been cool. That would,
or I guess missile shape, but
yes. There's like the food stuff. What like
I think the makeup stuff is cool.
The makeup stuff
is a person who doesn't use makeup at all.
Yeah.
But like
it gets me every time. Cool. So I'm so glad to hear that from somebody else because like I get sucked in. Like I said, I've been staring at the Silent Hill ones for so long and just not purchasing them because I can't justify it, but I want to justify it.
I believe it. I believe it's that it's in like the theming, because I love, and this isn't my fault. I blame my brother-in-law for it, but I love shoes and watches. Not like Swatch does a lot of collaborations with people. Just this week, I got one of their art series watches. That is well, actually, hold on one sec. I'll go get it. It's downstairs. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Hold on.
All right. So, anyways,
well, while Dan's gone, I'll talk quickly about something else, just to fill the air. And so, working at Hot Topic, there was something else. There was a brand called Her Universe.
Okay.
And it was like a clothing brand from Hot Topic that would do like different collabs, and they were always licensed products. And they do video games. Like I know there was Witcher related, and they're more like fashion with prints that are video game.
Yeah, there's a Australian company that I get some stuff for Katie called Black Milk.
Oh yes, Black Milk is. They've got me. I really want to get some of their stuff now because they're doing D&D.
Yeah, I've gotten some of like the Witcher stuff and a couple other things. But yeah, and then you remember that Blastoise thing that I got? That really high quality T-shirt that I wore at MagFest. So it's basically like a holographic Blastoise card that's like super intense. It's a company called Neophoric.
Very cool.
NEO4IC. They've got some really cool stuff, but I think the main thing is that it has to be a good quality product. Like
always.
It can't be just hot garbage with stuff slapped on it. Because I think we're at the point, especially like us at our age, like we're able to tell if something is stupid and bullshit or if it's like actually something good, and if it makes sense. Like the Halo cookbook is dumb, but and I got this from a Loot Crate a long time ago, and it's one of the only things I still have from Loot Crate because a lot of the stuff that was just like stupid bullshit they slapped a thing on.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a Halo like little ammo can that I still have that I use to store stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
so like it makes sense. It's an ammo can. Like it could have been Gears of War. Honestly, that would be cool.
That would be cool.
But either of them, it works. It's cool.
Yeah, right. And so sorry, Dan. We started talking about clothing because we were trying to fill in.
Yeah, no.
We'll come right back to you. But so this is actually her universe, and it's a Boba Fett bomber jacket. I can't show you the back, which is the really cool part.
Is this the same company that made that really cool Totoro thing that I liked that you were?
Yes. So that one too. So I have a really nice sweater that Carrie actually got me that is Totoro. And so that's how they do it. Like this is Boba Fett, and it does actually say it here, but it doesn't necessarily scream it. It's just inspired by.
No, I like that. Yeah.
Rather than
especially like
a
for
direct
our age,
cosplay.
like you don't want aggressive
yes. So it's like stuff I could get away with maybe at work or with people who don't really know what's happening, but the people who know. And I think that's cute. And I like that. And it's also very quality as far as the workmanship and how it's made and things like that. So it's trusted in that way. So yeah, definitely her universe was another one I thought about because it's more like Disney bounding, where it's like I'm nodding at the character, but I'm not directly cosplaying it. So yes, talk about swatches and
I will, because there's like some things where at Swatch they have a lot of collaborations that they do. The one I went to go get you is this one I just got. It's a collaboration with the Tate Gallery. Every year they do an art series. But this is a collaboration.
Potato Man.
It
kind of looks like a potato.
It kind of looks like a potato, but it's called Woman with Bird is the actual art piece it's based on.
Okay.
But it's very cool. But also they have all these things, like they just came out with a Simpsons collab that they did. They have like a bunch of like Dragon Ball Z stuff that they do, where it's like it doesn't look like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's really cool. Oh, it's Dragon Ball Z. Oh, this is great. I love swatch things. Hannah got me a moon swatch from them right before I proposed to her. And so, but they have just all these really cool collaborations and things that are infused, and I love that. And then Nike also does a bunch of stuff where they'll collab with artists. And like you said, with they're doing the Dungeons and Dragons collaboration with Converse, which is really cool.
I'm literally about to buy some shoes.
I'm
getting the ones with like the dice outline on both sides.
Very cool.
Because you can customize them and they're cool.
Yeah, the last ones I bought were like Harley Quinn Converses, because I was just like, they did that crossover, and I was like, they got me. I need it.
Well, and like you can like there are like underwear companies that are doing stuff like Ethica and PSD. I think one of them did like a Yu-Gi-Oh one, which was kind of awesome.
But I think it's the subtleness. There's like like you were saying before, it's for our generation, it's like we want to know, like, I know I'm wearing the thing that is the thing I love, right? It's like the video game I love. It's this character that I love. It's a Star Wars thing I love. But it's but you want to like be out and about, and like people won't outwardly go. It's just like, oh, he's wearing Goku's thing. But like if somebody knows, it's like, oh, dude, I love that because it looks like you're wearing Goku's gi.
Almost like inspired.
Yes.
And not but like it's like thieves can't. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you have no idea.
If you know,
there you go. It is
IYKYK.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's like you can find your people, but not have to announce to everyone who your people are.
Well, it's like
it's very cool.
I get good stuff. Like it's not, but yeah.
And then, do you guys know what Ruggable is? Have you seen the ads for Ruggable?
I have. Is Ruggable doing something?
I have. No, they've done like for a long time. They had Star Wars stuff.
They've been having.
I've thought about buying them, and I read that they just aren't the best, so I didn't. But we have a different experience. I don't, because we got my parents some Christmas rugs from Ruggable, and they tended and they've been doing okay.
All right.
But yeah, I always see the Star Wars ones, and I'm like, man, those are cool because they don't look like
cool.
They look pretty cool.
They're like kind of like the X-wing streaky things going.
Yeah, but it's also like unless you're like, that's Star Wars, you could look at it and be like, no, that's just a cool rug. Like that's just a nice design for a rug.
Or like the TIE fighters that are kind of like geometrical.
Yeah.
And like yeah.
I always have such a hard time paying that much for a rug, period. They're all expensive.
Well, rugs are expensive regardless.
But like their whole thing is that they're
machine washable
and super easy to take care of and blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay. Am I interrupting by bringing another one up?
Go ahead.
Nope.
Okay, so this one's very on brand for our podcast, and I'm very excited to show it because I have a physical product, but I'm not popping it yet.
Okay.
Has anyone heard of Quest Ends Whiskey?
Yes. I've been hearing. Hannah's been telling me about that for like it feels like months at this point. Did you get some?
Yeah. It's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm curious to know if it's expensive because it's good.
I don't know yet.
There have been alcohol things like related to video games or
right.
Like I mean, there was like there was some Game of Thrones wines and beers, and
the Game of Thrones wine was pretty good, to be honest.
To be fair.
And that's the thing that I can't speak to quite yet. I mean, there's reviews on it that people are enjoying it, but who knows? I will let you know once it happens, but I do want to share it with everyone. Okay, can you see it with the?
You should save some for.
Which one? Which?
This is Rogue.
Oh, that's the one that's going fast.
Yeah, so Paladin isn't available anymore.
Rogue is still available.
Oh, it is.
100.
This one is still available. Yeah,
it better be fucking good.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll let you know. The bottle is very cool. Oh gosh, it's so big.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So it's got a map.
I'll give you $20 if you save me a shot for the next time I see you.
Okay, deal. I'll
that's cool that it has HP on the side.
HP on the side.
Oh, that's
I thought
great.
That was really fun.
Love
the box is also really cool. It has more of this map, more laid out.
What is the map? Is it just like is it the Sword Coast, or is it just like a map that they just like slapped on there?
Yeah, I think it's the Sword Coast. Yeah, it's with I can't tell. This is just a portion. I'll check the box and I'll let you know.
Send me a picture and I might probably let you know.
Yeah. So it is bourbon whiskey.
Okay.
And it is a company by Matthew Lillard.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's why it's good. You know,
that's one of the reasons
I love that. Like
we have
I love his story arc.
Yes, I love that he's come out with a D&D inspired game Tangent that
he has
released.
I don't know if he has a company or he just like helps out a company that like.
Oh, it's his company.
It's his company.
It's his company. Yeah, it's his brainchild. These are all his brainchild.
I can't remember what the company is. I'm not talking about just the alcohol, but
no. He has a game company where he releases games. Yeah.
Because like he plays with a lot of like a lot of people.
Yes, he does, and he goes on different D&D streams and he participates. And yeah, it's his. And this one is also his brainchild. This is by Matthew Lillard, screenwriter Justin Ware, and Blue Run Spirits co-founder Tim Saparpani. Sorry, Tim, your name's hard. So this is something that they intend to combine the storytelling, acumen, and influence of Hollywood with the award-winning spirits craftsmanship through their master blender ale Oncoa, I don't know, and the muscle of Chicago marketing is what they say. So that is the story of the company. I haven't tasted it yet. I will give you a review once I have it, but I think this is super cool. Definitely wish that Paladin was still there for purchase, but hopefully it comes back around. It sounds like they're planning a release, I think, this month, I thought I read. So we'll see. But it's just super cool.
It's difficult, like with aged things to
to rush it or anything. So it is what it is. What's there is there. But yeah, there you go. Now
that's very cool. That's very cool.
That's very cool.
Man, I love whiskey too. That's my.
I love being an adult with adult money.
Me too. I don't have any, but other than that,
Well, you're getting married, so that's like
me either. Because
that is awesome.
I spend things like makeup and and expensive whiskey.
I play Warhammer, so yeah.
Or I jump it all into a gacha,
I just had to buy 2 suits, and when we were at the mall, I was like, might as well get a fancy one of the new cool swatches while I'm here, So
yeah, you could have gotten those 2 suits or like an entire Warhammer army. So
it's true. I didn't do that. Otherwise, I would have gone to this wedding, and they would have been very upset with how I looked. So
I wouldn't have been upset with how you looked though, because we would have playing some.
Oh goodness. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of collaborations that are out there, and I think the thing we could take away from it is that it's like if it's not like the, no offense, if it's not like the Five Below version of a thing. If it's a good quality version of a collaboration with someone, it's going to be good, but you have to like research the company and like,
definitely research the company. There are a ton of like scam, drop, basically just like, is it drop shipping? Drop shipping
whenever it comes directly from a company, like to like different companies,
like from AliExpress, basically. So there's a lot of that out there. So just make sure you're careful and like do some research. Like honestly, Reddit's pretty good about being able to saying like, yes, this is a scam, or no, it's not. Like if you just look up like the company and Reddit. So just be smart about buying stuff and make sure it's a good company and you'll hopefully get something good.
I would like to end our conversation on a list I found about the 10 weirdest video game product collaborations.
Yeah.
Do you all mind?
I'm into it.
I would love to hear this.
Please.
Okay.
Please.
I would like to end the podcast, and I'm like, great.
And it's done. We're over. Good night, everybody.
No. Okay. So number 10 was Guilty Gear Strive. It was Eau de Parfum.
Ooh.
I want to smell like Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear. Yeah.
Does it smell like I've been sitting at the same console in like an arcade for a good 4 hours? Does it smell
like the last day at MagFest in the arcade room?
Oh no.
Oh, I hope not.
They were based on the 2 main fighters, Soul Bad Guy and Kai Kasuki.
Yep.
So the Soul one has a somewhat smoky scent, while Kai's is more flowery. But that is so awful. And everything you said is exactly what people think when they would think about this. So
yeah,
nobody
I smell pretty smoky on the last day. Xmas too, so that seems accurate.
Number 9 is somewhat related. Resident Evil deodorant spray. It was called. Can we guess? Can we make guesses? What is it called?
Biohazard.
No, that's a good one though.
Was it called? Oh no. Wesker.
No, it's called what everybody would want to spray on themselves or anyone near them. It was called T-Virus.
Shit.
Don't want that.
Biohazard's better.
Biohazard is
Biohazard
better.
would have been better. Anything would have been better. The name in and of itself sinks this.
It's a spray.
It's a spray called T-Virus.
Hey man,
Yes.
what are you using? Oh, it's just T-Virus.
It's so weird.
That's awesome. I actually kind of love that.
Yeah, and it was the box just had Umbrella Corporation, which just feels weird buying anything from Umbrella Corporation. That's all it says on the outside.
Well,
and then you open it up and it's T-Virus. I mean, on brand, but also
I was gonna say Umbrella Corporation was a pharmaceutical, or not a pharmaceutical company, a
beauty
cosmetics company, company. Yeah.
So anyway, too weird. They lost it in the name.
If you know what I
don't care how good the product is. The next one was Shu Uemura and Super Mario, which is a makeup company, which is what I was mentioning. A lot of times they miss, and they're just like having the name. They know nothing. I could
see like some good reds and some blues and some.
Yeah, that's what you see in your head, right?
Right, like
None of those. None of those
colors. So probably mostly like pinks and like tans.
Pinks,
colors.
Purples. Classic Mario purple.
Wario.
Waluigi. Waluigi.
And orange and a deep red. So the idea, I guess, was that they were
characters, I guess.
They were supposed to be centered around Peach, Daisy, and Rosalina.
Oh, okay.
But no. And then the products themselves, when they marketed them and had the products, it was like the old pixelated versions of Mario and the princess. So the theme just made no sense.
Yeah, so that's I think a misunderstanding of like, oh, well, it's for cosmetics are for women, so it has to be the women characters. No.
But it wasn't even like, if you would have slapped their face on the outside, maybe it would have even made more sense. But the color palettes still don't make sense to me.
But I think it would have made more sense to be like purple's Waluigi and yellow's Wario.
Right.
And, like red is Mario and green is Luigi. Yeah.
Nope, they just did the 8-bit thing. Just it feels ungenuine, I guess. Ingenuine,
right?
ungenuine?
And that's
ingenuine.
Ingenuine. Anyway,
disingenuous.
And then there was this one I remember vividly because I thought it was a joke. I thought it was an April Fool's joke. Final Fantasy's Louis Vuitton line.
I think I recall this. Yes.
Yeah. The ads came out, and I literally thought this was a joke. And so there was like a cross-promoted item in the game. Louis Vuitton ad featured Lightning from Final Fantasy in a magazine showing off new clothes. Not only that, but the magazine conducted a fake interview with Lightning on her feelings about the brand and product.
Oh, this was for 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was 2 years. It was 2 years after, though, Lightning returned.
That's
for Solar Game.
That's weird. Also weird.
So the marketing made no sense. That's why I thought this was all a joke. So it was really just Louis Vuitton clothes that had nothing to do with Final Fantasy. And they took the Lightning character and used it to advertise way after the game.
That's strange.
The cross promotion didn't even make sense.
That has big like someone at Louis Vuitton's kid was playing Final Fantasy 13.
Sure.
And they were like, oh, who's that person? They're like, oh, this is Lightning, blah, blah, blah. They give them all the backstory. And then they're like, this is pretty neat. Let me make
That's very Italian and not French.
So, it is pretty neat. Let me make a fucking designer line for this fake person.
Yeah, it was very weird. I just don't understand that one. I
mean, to be fair, some of the purses are kind of cool. Like the checkerboard one is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is weird.
Yes.
It is weird.
And number 6, I think, is actually really cool, and I don't think it belongs
we still
on
have
this
6
list.
more.
Yes.
Yeah.
So number 6 was
We'll talk less about
run
them.
it.
Yeah,
I'll
talk
speed
less
run
about
it.
it.
Coca-Cola Game Gear. I think that's very cool.
Interesting.
That seems like something that, like, you remember like collecting those Pepsi points in the 90s?
Yeah.
That seems like something that you would get from Coke, but like for the same reason.
Yeah, and it came with a single bundled tie-in game called The Coca-Cola Kid. It was a platforming adventure with the Japanese mascot for Coke. Just fun facts.
Already.
Destiny Cookbook. You guys discussed that. We don't need to go back.
Dumb. Wait, we didn't discuss that one, but it's the same reason.
But
yeah, same reasoning. Doesn't make any sense.
Same reason as the Halo one. Same author as the Halo one. We can understand what happened here.
Don't buy it.
Definitely the B team of cookbook authors for this genre. Anyways,
they wrapped in just kind of the fast food company video games here, so that's not really a product necessarily. The King games, which tied into
those are awesome.
I think King. Those were Sneak King. I think those were great.
Those were tight. And that was awesome.
And they tied into
there's a guy
Burger
that
King
like collects
toys.
those.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I think those are cool.
Well, now here's the thing though. I kind of think of that as the reverse. So instead of like a collab, that's like Burger King put out a video game and we all
right.
Oh, kind of like the KFC dating simulator.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yes. And we can do a whole podcast about like these kinds of things. We'll pocket this.
Hold on. You know what? I think we did do that one already. It may be episode. It could have been like episode like 64 or something like that. So
yeah, it might have been a long time ago.
Well over 3 years ago.
Yeah. So this one's another team up. So I'm going to briefly mention it because it's on here. EverQuest 2 Pizza.
From Pizza Hut.
Yep.
That's a Pizza Hut thing to do.
They even implanted the command /pizza in the games, which allowed users to order food without having to pause.
That's awesome. That's so tight.
Great.
I would love that.
So funny.
That's amazing.
I would
cool.
love that. I want that so badly.
More games need that.
However,
listen to
kids
us marketing.
these days, there would be parents owing so much money for pizza.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's so cool.
I think it's funny. I think it's great. I don't know why it's here.
We're into it.
No, I want it more. I want it in every game I play. /pizza. 10 minutes later, pizza.
This one, and I don't think it belongs here either. Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel is number 2.
I love Game Fuel, dude.
I love Game Fuel.
I've got a dumb question. Is Game Fuel not Code Red?
It is not.
No, it is not. Game Fuel is specifically initially was specifically released for Halo. There was like the Halo version of Halo 3 because when we had a LAN party in my basement, we had a bunch of Game Fuel. It was so good.
I wasn't invited.
Well, I didn't know you, Chris.
We knew each. I thought Halo 3 came out when we were in college.
No, it came out when we were in high school, man.
Early high school. And then World of Warcraft came out and they had the blue one for Alliance and red for Horde, which is kind of like Code Red. And that is where my addiction started to Code Red.
Probably. Yeah.
And I would only buy the red because I refused to support Alliance. So I have no idea what the blue tasted like.
That's true. Yeah.
I was in college, Dan.
You were in college. I was 17, so I was not at college yet.
I was also 17, but I was in college.
I thought it was earlier than that. Wow. Okay.
All right. Well, it might have been Halo 2
2007. No, you were a senior, Dan. I would have been a freshman in college at that point.
So the last one is weird to me because I can't speak to anything about this because it's a UK thing, but it made number 1, which is impressive to me. King's Bounty 2 launched in late August 2021. A UK developer partnered with a burger chain called London's Luxo Burger in order to make a dragon burger. The burger contains peppers that put it on the million Scoville scale of hotness.
Oh, those are some spicy burgers.
That's not nice.
And if anyone dared to eat this burger, they had a chance to win a copy of the game. That was the oddest part of the promotion to this person who made the list. One could burn their mouth, have stomach problems for a week, and never get anything out of it.
Oh, that's weird that it's only like a chance.
It's a chance.
Listen, that's how these competitions work. I mean, whatever you have, like you go to a restaurant, it's just like, hey, you eat this giant plate of food, you get it for free, but otherwise you pay for it, you know?
Yeah, but like that's
no.
Totally under your destiny of like,
this is like,
I can push myself and throw up later and make myself feel horrible now. I can
it's not quite like that.
I will get that.
Okay.
You're guaranteed a free meal.
Oh,
yeah, you're guaranteed a free meal.
Okay.
This is like twisting off a Mountain Dew top and seeing if you got a winner.
Okay.
But you have to eat
something
crazy burger.
I have to point out something. Can't you see me? Just posted Code Red is the perfect pairing with Sheetz hot dogs. The flavors balance each other really well. I believe that.
I'd agree. That is a Game Brew fact.
I can see that.
Taquito. It goes well with taquitos from 7-Eleven also.
Were pretty great.
But yeah, spicy things. I love spicy things, but
they don't love you.
Remember I told you guys about we grew some what was it? The Carolina Reaper peppers, and I tried a little bit of it and I couldn't feel my face. So depending on how spicy this is, probably not into it.
And I like it. That's all we can do. Stop it.
And that's it. Okay. So yeah. So those are
summary. Yeah.
In summary, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us your favorite things we talked about.
Yeah. Tell us about your favorite your favorite video game like thing that you have.
Product crossovers. Yeah. I'd love to hear about it.
And the best place to tell us about it is by going to the Discord. That's bit.ly/discobrew, DISCOBREW. And yeah, you could go in there and just tell us either in episode discussion or general chat, probably episode discussion. Just tell us what your
honestly, wherever you want. Just like we'll tell you.
We'll find it.
It'll pop up. I'll get a notification. And just tell us what your favorite collab was. Pip says I'm addicted to Echo, or Eco.
Oh, that game! The game I've seen you guys playing late at night. Yes.
Yes.
I'm playing Hearts of Iron. I see you playing that game.
I'm just sitting there doing auto chess on Teamfight Tactics. But yes, you could go there. Tell us about what your favorite collab is. Also say hi. Show us some of your favorite videos, chat around and goofing around, show us some of your pictures of what's going on with your life. We want to know what's up with you. What's going on in your world, because we all have different worlds.
It's true.
And there's that. And of course, you can always listen to the podcast. If you want to listen to this podcast you've already listened to, if you're on the stream, or if you're listening to it right now, remember to listen to the old ones. You can do that by searching the Game Brew podcast on any of your favorite podcatchers. Or you can go to www.thegamebrew.com and listen on the internet. You can always do that. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. I don't know if there's any other Game Brew stuff.
No, I think you covered it.
I think that's it.
You did great. If you missed the beginning of this podcast, go listen to it again. You can hear some great clippable moments that we're going to take out later. And also my new nickname.
Yeah. That's right, Sugar Bombs.
When you say it like that, let's never do it again.
I should have like a glass of whiskey and a cigar and be wearing like a suit.
Hey, Sugar Bombs.
Hey, it's my head secretary, Sugar Bombs. What are you doing over there?
I get it now. I really didn't hear it before, and I'm there. I get it. It's weird. Okay.
So we're not going to use that nickname.
Never again. Yep, it's done. It's dead.
Or we exclusively use that nickname and nothing else. So great. Allison, do you have anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, this still sucks.
That still
I don't like it.
Sucks. She's close. She's close.
I also stream on Twitch. And now that my surgery's over, that'll be coming back. So if you want to follow me, it's twitch.tv/Vinalia, VINALIA.
You can follow my personal Twitch, twitch.tv/TubeCrazed, where I stream Warzone with my bros. We did that on Thursday. I won the first game and then just pooped all over every other game that we played. So classic Dan maneuver. Chris, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, go do your taxes. They're due tomorrow. Do them right now.
And,
wow.
Please do them.
What a good reminder.
And if you're listening to the podcast, your taxes were due last week. Go, you
and
want to
go
in.
File
an extension.
File an extension like immediately. You still owe the money, and they're gonna charge you interest. But like, go.
Do it now.
This is why you should watch us live on Twitch.tv, everyone.
Yeah,
so you get these important reminders before they're after.
Conchu Seaman says, I thought that was a group project. No. God, no. Oh no, you were supposed to do the background information part.
I thought you were doing it.
Oh no. Well, that's it for us on the podcast tonight. At least for the podcast portion. Go and follow all those things we just said, and then we're going to end the podcast by saying the thing that we say when we always end the podcast, which is good night, everybody.